Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by former British champion, hoping to regain that title on March the 6th, Ted Cheeseman. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Dan. Just getting used to this new normal life of lockdown all the time. So
Lockdown hasn't been too bad for you though, has it? You got to headline the first fight camp show last summer, thrilling fight, win over Sam Eggington, and now you're chief support on the first box office show of 2021. You must be pretty happy.
yeah, cool. So yeah, it's been good for me. Plus, I think every boxer will say it's a lot easier to train as long as you can, like, obviously access your facilities you need to. It's a lot easier to train whilst in lockdown because there's nothing else to do. So it's so easy to stay focused. You know what I mean?
You probably look forward to training almost now because it's something to do.
Yeah, definitely. Kills part of the day and takes up some like part all the time.
Has it been nice as well to kind of spend a bit more time with the family? You might be at the point now where you'd rather just get out a bit, but at least at
Yeah.
first, was it nice to spend a bit more time? Because you don't get a lot of time at home normally.
Yeah, no, of course. It is nice to spend a lot of time with my baby and stuff. But to be honest, my building company has been sort of like flat out, if you get what I mean. So I've been out like making sure jobs are getting done and stuff, and taking invoices places. So I've been quite busy the whole time, really. Anyway.
Construction's one of the things that's been allowed to carry on, so that's been pretty good for you. You obviously started the
Yeah,
right business in the right industry.
yeah, definitely, Dan.
Good stuff. Now, you've got James Metcalf, Commonwealth champion, on March the 6th. It's a fight that's been, it was mandated by the board, so you've known that it's going to be him as your opponent for quite a while. What do you make of him as a fighter?
James Metcalf's on paper and watching him looks like a really good fighter, but obviously you can't take too much off of who he's fought. So it's like one of them fights is either going to come out and be a star or he's going to have found his level. Do you know what I mean? So sort of this is when you find out how good how like good James Metcalf really can be.
Is this where experience is really important? Because he's older than you, but you fought a much better level of opposition.
Yeah, definitely. Experience is going to count, but it's not just all about experience. It's just how good you are. Do you know what I mean? If he's good, he's good. If I'm better, I'm better. Like experience counts. It's a little percentage. Do you know what I mean? But if you know you can do the 12 rounds, it's who's better on the night, who's trained on, who wants it more. You know what I mean? And who knows how to get grit. Like the experience counts when it's like gets tough. You have to grit your teeth and push hard when it's hurting and when you don't really like when you're getting really tired. And he ain't really had to go through them sort of periods of it. Everything's gone smooth for him. He ain't really. He's had a couple. Yeah, he's fought Damon Jones and Jason Wellborn, and they're not like world beaters, but they're still decent opposition. But compared to like what you say, compared to who I fought, and I see someone put up on Twitter when it first got announced, like, I'm looking forward to the fight, and it's my 8th title fight, and it's mad to think like eight title fights in a row, and they've all been good opponents, and it's good experience. And I'm still only a baby in the sport, like you say. I'm 25. I'm going to try and regain the title I've already had. He's sort of fighting for this title, and he's never actually fought for this title. And I think my experience will count. I'm still fresh. I'm still young, and I'm looking forward to it.
With you saying that, obviously he hasn't passed those gut check moments just yet. Does that encourage you to put it on him a bit more rather than box on the back foot like you did for long periods against Fitzgerald?
To be honest, it just like you watch him. He's got a couple of different. Like he ain't basic. You know what I mean? He's good at fighting. He's good at boxing. So it's one of them sort of fights where we're both sort of not similar styles, but we both can box. We both can fight. It's just the first few rounds you work each other out and work out what you think's gonna work best for you, and then you'll go from there. But obviously, at points you can tell by the way we do fight, it is gonna get rough and it is gonna get tough, and it's one thing I noticed. I think with Metcalf, obviously, like I said, he ain't had that gut check because he ain't fought the people. But it's all sort of at his own pace. You know what I mean? So it does what it needs to do. You know what I mean? And now you're gonna see if he's got that bit more to push when I step on the gas, and see if he has got that bit more. And I don't think it's one of them fights where we're both sort of respectful fighters and we're both sitting there slagging each other off. It's just one of the things is he's a good fighter, I think I'm a good fighter, and then we'll see who's the best man on the night.
We've seen you hold the British before, you challenged for the European. What will a win over Metcalfe on March the 6th do for you? Where will it put you back in that kind of pecking order?
To be honest, I believe I'm back number one in the domestic scene. You know what I mean? I already believe that, but it sort of it solidifies that position. Plus, it gives me a big chance to push on in my career. And what people don't realise, when I tried to push on in my career at 23, I was in a bad place. Plus, I was only 23. I'm now 25. Will be 26 this year. I'm at a good age for a boxer. You know what I mean? I'm good age. I'm maturing well. I've learned a lot through the losses and gained the experience I need to gain to now get that win I need against Metcalfe, and then hopefully push on for big things.
And you mentioned being in a bad place, of course, when you fell to Sergio Garcia. The issues that you had back then, how's that all going on? Are you still kind of getting help and stuff? And are you in a better place now?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm still on like right now. You can't go to meetings and stuff
Of course.
because everything going on. But I still on like my WhatsApp group chat and stuff with it. And to be honest, I feel like I'm past that now. It's not. It's obviously like everyone says, you're only one day away from sort of relapsing. But for me, the position I am in my life, all round boxing and just in my life, family life and general life, is feels in such a good position that I would hate. I even just sometimes I think about it and I think, how did I even do that? And I think I'd never ever want to go back to that sort of lifestyle. And I see people doing it who I know and stuff, and I feel sorry for them when you try and explain to them, but it's sort of one of the things is you're only ready to stop when you're ready to stop yourself, not when someone tells you. So it's hard. Like you see people doing it in whether it's gambling, whether it's drink, whether it's drugs. So that mean you see it in like people, and obviously general people who have just a normal job, like normal 9 to 5 job stuff, don't see the effects of it straight away. Do you know what I mean? Because like mentally, because they're still getting on their job, they're still thinking, right, they might be skinned, but they're getting on with life. Do you know what I mean? And it's not damaging them that bad, that quick. Do you know what I mean? And it takes longer sometimes for someone like that to realise. You could take 10 years for them to realise, all right, I'm spending all my money on wasting on whatever I'm doing. But it's not really, I'm still managing to get by in my work. All right, I'm not pushing on where I should, like trying to go up another tier in my like, level of work. But I'm still getting by, but it might take 10 years for them to click and think, you know what, I should be pushed on now by now and stuff. So it's hard, but like I think, as I said, everyone makes their own decision when they're ready at their own time. And as long as you do make that decision, it don't matter if it's 20 years' time or 1 day's time. As long as you finally do one day make that decision, you just got to stick to it. And like now, I've stuck to it. I'm in such better place. And boxing is going well. Like you say, I topped the bill at the fight camp. I'm now chief support on the pay-per-view bill, and I think that's all part of. I'm enjoyable to watch. You know what I mean? No matter who I fight, I'm enjoyable to watch. Win, lose, draw. The fights are all action. Whether I'm boxing on a back foot, whether I'm coming forward, it's always a mix of like everything. So I'm always. I think I'll always get good opportunities. You know what I mean? So I just got to make sure now I keep taking these opportunities, being successful, pushing on.
And you mentioned family life there. How are Jenna and little Ted?
Yeah, everything's going well for us. The baby's getting grown up quick.
He's not a
You know
baby
what I mean? Very
anymore.
quick. No, he's non-stop all day and night. Obviously now it's like deep in camp. So did I cut out?
I got you.
Yeah. Now I'm deep in camp, sort of. I'm having to sort of make sure he's not coming in our room because he's always wanting to be in our room. Since last year, after I fought boxed, we went on holiday, and the travel cot that we had when we got to the hotel, the travel cot they give us was damaged. So we didn't let him sleep at night. He slept in the bed of us, and ever since then, he's just back out of his routine. And so whether he goes in bed, he might be in bed till 1. And you can hear him come walking in 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. As soon as he wakes up, he's in our room. You know what I mean? So sort of we've got to be sort of strict on him while I'm in camp, or she goes in the spare room with him. So it's time to be fully focused. You know what I mean? Before, like I say, in the end when I was gambling, I was boxing for financial reasons. You know what I mean? My goal of achieving whatever I could had gone. Do you get what I mean? It was only to get a stake, and now it's totally the other way. I don't really like. Obviously, I care what I'm getting paid. I'm going to get what I'm worth, but that ain't the main reason why I'm boxing. The main reason I'm boxing is to go as far as I possibly can. Do you know what I mean? In the sport and achieve what my full potential. Otherwise, if I would have carried on doing what I was doing when I was gambling, 10, 15 years time, I would have sat back, felt sick, and probably thought like I could have achieved a lot more. And I'll be truthful with you, at the first lockdown, like in March, in my head I thought, do you know what? I think I might retire. You know what I mean? I'm sick of the sport and whatever. I got not depressed, but no, like you just get the ump because like, you're meant to be fighting. Yeah, I was fed up. I was meant to be fighting in March. I got all the way to the last week of camp, and then it got cancelled. And then I thought to myself, is it worth it? Is it ever going to come back that quick? Then obviously I got the opportunity for fight camp, and it happened. But the whole time I was telling myself as well, like it's weird because where I'm still like a young adult, you think of all the stuff like when you was in school and stuff. And I thought to myself, like, I want to sort of get at least one win while Ted's alive, like baby Ted's alive. So when he goes to school, they can't say like, well, your dad sort of had a bad run and that was it, and then you was alive and then no more. But now I can always say I won another title while he was alive and had a good fight. And now plus I'm in more big fights, so hopefully by the time he sort of can fully understand, I'll be at a very good level. Fingers crossed.
It's mad that you like considered retirement because you had, for most boxers, a pretty good lockdown.
Yeah, I know, but not before the Eggert fight.
No,
I mean before. Yeah,
yeah, because it's hard to
yeah,
see
but
the light at the end of the tunnel, innit, until you get a date.
yeah, like in my head it was like I lost to the Garcia fight, went rehab, come out, sort myself out, drew against Conway, which I thought I won, lost against Fitzgerald, which I thought I won. Then trained all the way for a fight after telling myself like I was done after the Fitzgerald fight. Got my mental side right again. Trained for another fight for March to the last week, and then it got cancelled. And I thought, mate, I'm just sick of this. You know what I mean? It's ruling my life, plus it's torturing my life. And then obviously I managed to build myself up mentally. That's why sort of I know being mentally strong is one of my good points. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, as a fighter, I probably would have crumbled after the Garcia fight, and I probably would still be. I'll probably end in a hole now with probably 3 addictions, probably gambling, drinking, and drugs at the same time. But I sorted myself out, and now I'm in a good position.
Yeah, not only that, each time you've overcome something in the past, it makes you even more mentally strong because when something happens again, you can always remember, oh yeah, I got through that and I got through that.
Yeah, that's what I
Builds you
mean.
up.
That's exactly that. Exactly like you say. That's what made me mentally strong. And like obviously, there's you can say to yourself, like I was confident going in the ring against Sam Egerton to beat him, but obviously I still always had that doubt in the back of my head. Cool, if this is close, will I get the decision? If I don't win by stoppage, will I get the decision? But now, sort of, the confidence will be fully back. To get what I mean, I got the decision what I deserved. I'm back on a winning run, and now all the times you've been seeing me fight since the Garcia fight, there's been improvements each time. And I think this time you'll see the most and major improvements, because as much as I would have been improving more, my confidence will be there as well. That spring will sort of be back in my step, going in the ring as a winner.
But that's the flip side. When people were saying, oh, he's been thrown in deep quite early in his career, he's having tough fights early on. The flip side of that is now you're still young and you've got all that experience behind you.
Definitely, everyone looks into records too much. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, look, you can't. I got to beat James Metcalfe first, yeah. But he's 5 in the IBF, and I'm 8th. And say when I win, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, I believe I'm going to win this fight. If I win this fight, I think I should go top 3 IBF, like somewhere between them lines or that sort of ranking.
Wasn't Eggington 5th when you beat him?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Eggington was 5th, but surely now with a win, whilst we're both ranked fighters in thing, I should get quite a high ranking. And then my record would be 20 fights, 17 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. And if I was world champion and I had a voluntary defence, I'd look down the top 10 and I think, oh, bloody hell, he's had a couple of losses. I might as well chuck him in as an easy voluntary defence. And it might work in my favour one day, do you know what I mean? Because people don't really, like, unless you look into the background story and everything, you don't really know that. And that's why I'm just waiting for that bit of luck to work in my favour.
Well, if you're 8th and 5th, you should have a chat with Eddie and see if you can get it as an eliminator.
Yeah, I know. Listen, you just got to
get Tony.
I just leave it. Yeah, I just got to leave it to Tony and Charlie to sort everything out. But I think everyone knows it's a really big fight. You know what I mean? And I think the domestic level super welterweights is thriving at the moment. There's a lot of good fighters, and like there was a lot of talk about the rematch with me and Egerton. And obviously, look, I would love that rematch if everything was right. But for me, it's like all the time I was doing everything what was right for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Not always what was right for me. And now, what's right for me is fighting someone for 2 titles. What gives me a chance to push up the rankings and push on to some big things, not just to entertain and please everyone else. Do you know what I mean? I need to sort of. I'm still 25, but obviously I'm still young. You think about yourself a lot more. And now I'm in a better position. I'm making a lot more calculated decisions.
Good stuff. All right, well, really appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to it. But best of luck on March the 6th. I'm sure we'll talk before then, but looking forward to the fight.
Yeah, all right. Cheers, Dan. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Cheers, mate. Take care.